Hey guys, how's it going? Today I want to do something a bit different. I wanted to talk about this. This I picked up a little while ago and it's kind of an impulse buy really, but I got it from Mtech. I don't know if you've seen this sort of high street brand of kind of like boys toys stuff. I kind of like always go in those places and just have a look. I never usually really buy anything, but this kind of struck my attention because it looked quite good. This is an Mtech Skydrone Plus, I think that's what it's called. And it's basically, yeah, like a little quadcopter. It's pretty small. I don't know if you can get an idea from the scale of how big it actually is or how small it is. It's incredibly light. When I first saw it in the box, I just thought, yeah, do you know what? I think I'm going to give that a go and have a little play around with that. When I saw this, I thought this would be really cool because it's basically like everything in the box. You get the drone, you get the radio control unit as well. Which is really nifty, and it's got a little LCD screen on it as well, which we like, that sort of thing. Normally when I fly sort of when I've historically flown radio controlled aircraft and helicopters, I've been flying it like mode 1, I think it's called, where the throttle is actually on the other side. Normally the throttle's there for me, so I had to kind of like get my head around swapping over the sticks. But actually, these things are so easy to fly. I was so surprised. I mean, I used to just crash radio-controlled helicopters all the time, and it just got to a point where it was just like, it's just too expensive. It's just too many repairs and not enough flying. But this thing, literally, I've had a lot of fun with it because you can just chuck it and go. And then if you do crash it, it's probably not going to break because these, the propellers for one, they're kind of really flexible. Look, you can just bend that right around and it just flicks back in. And it's so light, so it's not going to do damage to itself, and more importantly, it's probably not going to do any damage to anything else as well that comes into its way. I've lost it a couple of times and managed to find it as well, which is quite useful. Now it comes with a camera at the bottom as well, which what I'm hoping to do today is to just get outside. It's looking pretty rainy at the moment, so I don't know whether I'm going to be able to do this, but and just get some sort of footage to show you the quality of the camera. It's not particularly brilliant, you know, it's nothing like what I'm using here for the YouTube channel, but you know, it's also minuscule, really tiny. And what you can do, it's got a little SD card slot on the back, and you just basically pop an SD card in there, micro SD card, and then from the transmitter, you just press one of these buttons down. Down, I think, takes the starts a video shooting, and up basically takes a snapshot like a photo. So it's pretty cool. I've done a little bit of experiment with it, and it kind of takes fairly good video. So what I'm hoping to do is do a video of the thing in action, this in action, and then cut in some sort of in-flight stuff. So hopefully, if it stops raining, I'll be able to do that. Now the other thing I will say is it comes with these tiny little batteries. I don't know if you can see this. Let's have a look. These are little lithium polymer batteries. You're going to focus on that? Yeah, these are little lithium polymer batteries, and they're about 650 milliamps. Those of you know about batteries, no, that's not an awful lot at all, and it's so small and light. I mean, it's crazy that this thing can power, you know, something like that. But once they're in, it doesn't really change the weight that much at all. It's just so light. But basically, these little batteries, I think you get one with it, which will give you about 5 or 7 minutes sort of flying time, because you've got the motors and the gyro and the camera, so it's pretty surprising it even kind of manages that long really. But yeah, these little batteries, they're also pretty cheap. You can buy new ones. What I did was I went and got another charger, because the charger they give you is a USB charger, which is kind of okay, but you know, it does the job. So what I bought was basically like a little charger. And what it allows you to do is charge about 6 batteries on it, 5 or 6, I can't remember. And basically you can charge multiple batteries on this little charger, and it's really good. It just means you can just continuously fly, because you can just plug all these batteries in, let that charge, and then just keep flying by just keep going and grabbing another battery. And it was really cheap as well. It's about £8. So I think £8 on eBay, and you can get this little charger. It's really good. So, you know, it's not an expensive thing to mess around with. I will say, yeah, the drone itself from Mtech, it was about $69.99. So it's about £70, like the drone with everything. Now, one thing I will talk about, because obviously there's a lot of radio guys that subscribe to me on this channel, so you'd be quite interested to see, you know, what this actually is. This is a 2.4 gigahertz transmitter, basically like Wi-Fi frequency. So you know, it does operate on a slightly different, I think it's slightly higher to Wi-Fi, so you're not going to end up with interference from Wi-Fi transmitters, but it is the de facto standard, I believe, now for radio control. So it just gives you much better range. You've got to have you can have a smaller antenna. Now, when this came, it basically had this little stubby kind of plastic antenna thing on the top of it. And I did a bit of research online because I thought that doesn't really look like an antenna. I mean, could it be maybe they've just popped a bit of wire in an empty case inside there and done it that way? But I thought, yeah, you know, I did some tests with range and I was finding that it wasn't actually going that far out of my sight before it would start, you know, jerking and blinking around. So I thought, I reckon we can probably improve the range here. In the actual quadcopter itself, I've looked at some pictures online inside and I've kind of had a little look through the back of it, and you can see there's like a 2.4 gigahertz. It's basically like a wire, tiny little wire, which is roughly cut to, I suppose, a quarter length on 2.4 gigahertz. So that's the antenna on there is pretty much, you know, it's pretty much okay. Inside here, however, when I did a bit of research online, I found that it's really kind of hit and miss what you get inside. The wire is just most of the time the wire is pretty random length. So what I did was whip the back off and had a look to see what was inside. And actually what they've got is a little place. It's kind of like a little cutout. I'll see if I can dig out the web link for, you know, the people the guys that have kind of done this or worked this all out. But it's basically got a cutout, so you can fit like an SMA connector in there. And that allows you to just basically use any Wi-Fi router antenna or any 2.4 gigahertz antenna for that matter. So I did that. It's a little bit tricky to sort of solder the wires on inside because it's very small. But there are pads inside for actually connecting the wires up. So yeah, probably about an hour it took me to just, you know, mod this up. And then I just grabbed this little 2.4 gigahertz antenna off of an old, I think it was like an old USB adapter. So yesterday I didn't get a chance to fly the drone because the weather was just mental. It was just like proper raining all day. So what I thought today, Sarah's gone out, so I thought, let's fly the drone around the house. Oh God, this is not going to plan. I don't know if you can see the look of concentration on my face, but it's just like ridiculous. Now I've got a bit more of an open space, it's a bit easier. Basically I can get some good like footage on the camera. The worst thing is forgetting to start the camera. So like, you have to push the button to start it. Things actually go quite fast. Whoa. Narrowly missed the camera. You can see, like, I'm no expert at all, but bit of practice. And that's why the extra batteries are good, because you can just keep flying rather than just waiting for it to charge. It's good to learn indoors as well. If you've got the space to do it indoors, it's good to learn because there's no wind. I'm getting a bit cocky now. No! Too much. The worst possible thing you can do. It's like putting the wrong control, make it go left when you should have done right, but there you go. See, apart from knackering my house, I'm not really actually knackering the thing. I'm not actually knackering the drone. It's absolutely fine. You can just pick it up and go. That's why I reckon it's so good to practice on these things, because like if you've got a big one like a DJI Phantom or something like that, you're gonna smash it the first time you fly it, and it's just going to be really disappointing. So if you can learn to fly on something like this, then I think you're going to be quite happy. Let's try something funny. got this little trick button which kind of like makes it flip. Try it again. Trouble is, you lose a load of height and there's not really enough room for it in here. Anyway, that's about it for the drone flying for today, guys. Hopefully the weather will be better soon and be able to go outside and do a bit more video. Hopefully the video's been useful as well. If you're thinking about getting a quadcopter or a drone, don't forget to give the video a great big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more like this, and we'll see you again soon.